Hello, hello, and welcome back to Slow and Easy English, the podcast where we take big ideas and break them down into clear, comfortable conversations. I'm so happy you're here with us today. Imagine we're sitting together in a cozy coffee shop. The rain is falling softly outside, you have your favorite warm drink in your hands, and we're just going to talk, slowly, clearly, and with no pressure.
And I'm here to ask all the questions you might be thinking, make mistakes, and honestly, sometimes feel a little confused. But that's okay, because that's how we learn, right?
Exactly right. So who is this podcast for? This episode is perfect for intermediate English learners. If you're around B1 or B2 level, you're in the right place. We speak slowly and use everyday vocabulary. We explain difficult words when we need to. And most importantly, we talk about real topics that matter to your life.
And today's topic? Oh, this one is personal for me. Today we're talking about something I struggle with a lot. Comparing yourself to others. You know that feeling when you see someone doing better than you and suddenly you feel small?
I think everyone knows that feeling. And that's exactly why we're talking about it today.
Before we start, I want to remind our listeners about our free resources. You can find the full transcript of this episode on our website, every single word written down for you. We also have a worksheet called the Comparison Detox Worksheet that goes with today's episode. Super helpful.
Yes, please download those. Reading while you listen can really help your comprehension, and the worksheet will help you practice these ideas in your own life. Okay, are you ready to dive in?
Ready as I'll ever be. So here's the thing. Last week, I was scrolling through social media, just relaxing, and I saw that an old friend from university just got promoted. Big job, big salary, and suddenly I felt terrible about my own life. Like, what am I doing wrong?
I hear you. That's such a common experience. Let's start there.
Okay, so here's my first question. And maybe it's a dumb question, but why do we compare ourselves to others in the first place? I know it makes me feel bad, but I can't seem to stop doing it.
First of all, that's not a dumb question at all. It's actually a very smart question. The truth is, comparing ourselves to others is completely natural. Our brains are designed to do this. Thousands of years ago, comparing yourself to others in your tribe helped you survive. You needed to know, am I keeping up? Am I doing enough? Am I safe?
Oh, so it's like built into our brains.
Exactly. It's called social comparison, and psychologists have studied it for decades. The problem is, our ancient brains are now living in a modern world. We're not just comparing ourselves to the 10 or 20 people in our small village anymore. We're comparing ourselves to thousands of people on social media, many of whom we don't even really know.
But wait, doesn't that mean comparing is just normal? Like, shouldn't I just accept it and move on?
Here's the thing. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's helpful. Let me give you a metaphor. Imagine your brain is like an old computer. It was programmed a long time ago with certain software. The comparison software was useful back then, but now that same software is running in a world it wasn't designed for. It's like trying to use a map from 1950 to navigate a city in 2024. The software needs an update.
Oh, so the problem isn't that I compare. The problem is that my brain is using old programming that doesn't fit my life anymore.
Beautifully said. You've got it. And in the worksheet, the Comparison Detox Worksheet, there's a section where you can identify your most common comparison triggers. We call this the Trigger Awareness Exercise. Understanding your triggers is the first step to updating that old programming.
I'm definitely going to look at that. Okay, so we compare because of evolution. Got it. But what do I actually do when I catch myself comparing?
Great question. Let's talk about the first big concept. I call it the highlight reel illusion.
The highlight reel illusion? What's that?
Well, you know what a highlight reel is, right? In sports, it's a video that shows only the best moments, the amazing goals, the perfect catches. They cut out all the mistakes, all the boring practice, all the failures.
Yeah, of course.
Social media is a highlight reel of people's lives. When you saw your friend's promotion announcement, you saw the celebration, the champagne emoji, the congratulations from everyone. But you didn't see the years of struggle before that. You didn't see the rejected applications, the stressful nights, the moments of self-doubt.
Oh, that's true. I only saw the good part.
And here's the really unfair thing. You're comparing their highlight reel to your behind the scenes. You know all your struggles, your fears, your failures, but you're comparing that complete picture of yourself to an incomplete picture of them.
But doesn't that mean I should just stop looking at social media? That seems kind of extreme.
You don't have to delete all your apps, but here's a metaphor I love. Imagine you're watching a cooking show. The chef makes this perfect, beautiful cake. It looks easy, right? But behind the scenes, there's a whole team helping. Someone washing dishes, someone preparing ingredients, someone cleaning up mistakes. When we watch, we think, why can't I make a cake like that? But we're not seeing the full story.
So when I see my friend's success, I'm just seeing the finished cake.
But not the messy kitchen. Exactly.
So the highlight reel illusion means I'm comparing my full messy reality to someone else's carefully edited best moments, and that's not a fair comparison.
Perfect understanding. We have something called the full picture principle in our resources. It reminds us to always ask, what am I not seeing here? This question can protect us from unfair comparisons.
I like that. What am I not seeing? Simple, but powerful. Okay, but here's where I get stuck. Nervous chuckle. Let's say I understand the highlight reel illusion. I know I'm not seeing the full picture. But sometimes the comparison isn't about social media. Sometimes it's about people right next to me. My coworker, my brother, my neighbor. I can see their life pretty clearly, and they still seem to be doing better than me.
Now we're getting deeper. This brings us to our second concept, the lane principle.
The lane principle?
Yes. Imagine life is like a running track. Everyone is running their own race. But here's the important thing. We're all in different lanes, and we all started at different points.
What do you mean, different starting points?
Well, think about it. Your coworker might have had parents who paid for their education. Your brother might have a personality that makes networking easier. Your neighbor might have started their career 10 years before you. We all begin from different places with different advantages, different challenges, different circumstances.
So even if we're running on the same track,
We're not actually running the same race. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're ignoring all the differences in your starting positions, your obstacles, your resources. It's like comparing a swimmer to a runner and saying, why can't you run faster? Well, maybe because you're supposed to be swimming.
I never thought about it that way. But wait, doesn't this just sound like making excuses? Like, oh, my life is harder, so I can't succeed.
I'm glad you asked that because it's an important distinction. The lane principle isn't about making excuses. It's about being fair to yourself. Recognizing your unique path isn't the same as giving up. Actually, it's the opposite. It frees you to focus on your progress, your growth, your race.
So instead of looking at the runner in the lane next to me, I should be looking at where I was yesterday, last month, last year.
Now you're getting it. We call this running your own race. The only meaningful comparison is you versus past you. Are you improving? Are you learning? Are you moving forward? That's what matters.
That actually feels lighter, like taking off a heavy backpack.
Beautiful image. In our resources, we have something called the Progress Tracker Journal. It helps you record your own growth over time. When you're tempted to compare yourself to others, you can look at this journal and see how far you have come.
I want to start that today.
Now, here's something interesting. We've been talking about comparison as a problem, but what if I told you that comparison can sometimes be useful?
Wait, what? After everything we just discussed?
I know. It sounds contradictory, but stay with me. There's a difference between destructive comparison and what I call constructive comparison.
Okay, I'm curious. Tell me more.
Destructive comparison says, they're better than me. I'm a failure. I should give up. It makes you feel small, hopeless, stuck. But constructive comparison says, interesting. They achieved something I want. What can I learn from their path?
Oh, so it's about the attitude, not the act of comparing itself.
Exactly. Think of it like fire. Fire can burn your house down. That's destructive. But fire can also cook your food and keep you warm. That's constructive. The fire isn't good or bad by itself. It depends on how you use it.
So, when I see my friend's promotion, instead of feeling terrible, I could ask myself, what did they do to get there? What can I learn?
Yes, we call this the information not judgment approach. When you see someone succeeding, treat it as information about what's possible, not as a judgment about your worth.
But what about when I just feel jealous? I'm not going to pretend I don't feel jealous sometimes.
Of course you feel jealous. That's human. But here's a secret about jealousy. It's actually very useful data. Jealousy shows you what you truly want. If you feel jealous of someone's career success, that tells you career is important to you. If you feel jealous of someone's relationship, that tells you connection matters to you. Jealousy is like a compass pointing to your values.
Oh, wow. So instead of feeling ashamed of jealousy, I can ask, what is this jealousy trying to tell me about what I want?
Beautiful. You've just discovered the jealousy compass technique. There's a section about this in the worksheet, how to use your jealousy as information rather than punishment.
This is really changing how I think about this stuff. Okay, I have one more struggle to share. Sometimes I don't even know if I actually want what other people have. Like, I see my friend's big promotion and I feel bad, but do I even want that kind of job? Honestly, I don't know.
This might be the most important realization of our whole conversation.
Really? Why?
Because many of us are chasing goals that aren't even ours. We compare ourselves to others based on what society says success looks like. The big job, the nice car, the impressive title. But we never stop to ask, is this what I actually want?
That hits hard. I think I've been running toward things that other people told me were important.
You're not alone. Most of us do this. It's like climbing a ladder, working so hard to get to the top, and then realizing the ladder was against the wrong wall.
That's a painful metaphor.
It is, but it's also freeing, because once you realize this, you can move your ladder. You can define success for yourself, based on your values, your dreams, your unique life.
But how do I figure out what I actually want? That seems really hard.
It takes time and reflection. Start by asking yourself, if nobody was watching and nobody would ever know, what would make me feel proud and fulfilled? Take away the audience, take away social media, take away other people's opinions. What's left?
That's a powerful question. I don't think I've ever really asked myself that.
This is why we created the personal success definition exercise in the worksheet. It guides you through questions to help you discover what success means to you, not your parents, not your friends, not society, just you.
I'm actually excited to do that exercise. For the first time, I feel like I'm thinking about my life, not comparing it to someone else's.
And that is real freedom. So let's bring everything together. Today, we talked about why we compare ourselves to others. It's natural, but it's based on old brain programming that needs updating. We discussed the highlight reel illusion. Remember, you're comparing your full, messy reality to someone else's edited best moments. We learned the lane principle. We're all running our own race from different starting points. We discovered how to use comparison constructively, as information rather than judgment. And finally, we talked about defining success for yourself, not based on what others expect.
You know what I'm realizing? This isn't just about comparing myself to others. This whole conversation is really about knowing myself, understanding what I truly value, running my own race. It's about self-awareness.
That's a beautiful connection, and I think you've just discovered the deeper truth. When you truly know yourself, your values, your path, your definition of success, the need to compare naturally gets smaller.
Because you're not looking for validation from outside, you're building it from inside.
Exactly.
I came into this episode feeling pretty frustrated with myself, and now I feel hopeful, like I have tools I can actually use.
That's the journey we want every listener to take, from frustration to empowerment.
Okay, so what's the action challenge for our listeners this week?
I'm so glad you asked. This week, we're doing the 2-minute gratitude redirect challenge. It's simple but powerful. Every time you catch yourself comparing to someone else, pause for just 2 minutes, take a deep breath, and write down 3 things you're grateful for your life. This interrupts the comparison spiral and brings you back to your own lane.
2 minutes. That's manageable. I can do that.
Everyone can do that. And remember, all the tools we mentioned today, the comparison detox worksheet, the progress tracker journal, the personal success definition exercise, they're all available for free on our website. Just check the description of this episode.
Yes, please download those. They really help you take these ideas from your head into your real life.
And if you found this episode helpful, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, share this with a friend who might need it, or send us a message. Your support means the world to us.
Seriously, every comment makes our day.
So, as we finish today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are exactly where you are meant to be on your journey. The only race worth running is your own.
The only race worth running is your own. I love that.
Thank you for spending this time with us today. Thank you for being open to learning, growing, and improving your English and your life at the same time.
We'll see you next week on Slow and Easy English.
Take care of yourselves, keep learning, and remember,
the only race worth running is your own.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.